Okay, folks, so now we're into our fourth assignment on globalization, and we're going to start looking at we looked at some of the economic costs and things like that, and economic benefits. But what we really want to look at is, do the social and cultural benefits outweigh the costs related to this? So you're going to want that graphic organizer that I had you create on the last assignment, the one we did on Pear Deck. If you've got that available, you're going to want that out to take notes on. If not, you may want to just have a sheet of paper to work on. Okay, so the first thing that kind of comes up when we look at this on the social side is social media. We're kind of consumed with social media. We know we are. And I think you guys know what they are. They're really computer-based tools to create and share information. And the number of platforms that are out there has exploded here in the 21st century. These are some 2016 numbers on the right side of the screen that you can see there. You can see Facebook is actually up to now, I think, over 2 billion users. WhatsApp is around, and that's really a China-based version of Facebook. There's Facebook Messenger. I know a lot of you guys use Snapchat. I think TikTok is not on here. It's fairly new, but it's a form of social media, and there's so many other ones that are out there that come and go. So it's a huge piece of this, okay? And if you look on the map here, in blue, that's all the countries where Facebook is the #1 player. And you can see that China has its own version called Q Zone, and Russia has its own version. Japan, Twitter is the #1 application, and some of the other areas. So maybe you're not familiar with these other terms. But basically, this is a survey that came in the top 500 sites in each country as of 2015. So some of these numbers may have changed over time, but Facebook still remains the dominant player in social media. Okay, YouTube, huge big thing. This is where I'm recording this video. Okay, most popular video sharing website was launched in 2005. There's an article. I'll put that link if you're interested in it. You can go and look at it, and I'll put that link into the notes. And you can look at that. There's some videos and things on that, but just some global statistics for you. YouTube has over 1 billion users, and this is as of 2017, so it's even more than that now. Almost 1/3 of all people on the internet use YouTube every day to watch hundreds of millions of hours on YouTube, and I'm sure you guys are doing a lot. I know I've been on YouTube a lot. Pulling up videos to use and things like that in all my classes, and watching some tutorials on stuff for other stuff. YouTube overall, and even YouTube on mobile phone, reaches more 18 to 34-year-olds and 18 to 49-year-olds than any cable network in the U.S. More than half of the YouTube views come from mobile devices. We usually watch YouTube on our phones or on our tablets. And there's local versions in 88 countries, and it's probably more than that now. And you can actually navigate it in a total of 76 different languages, covering 95% of the internet population. Okay, and here's your map that shows you who has local YouTube. You can see that in some areas it's blocked still, and some of these are parts of the Islamic world where they block it for other reasons. North Korea, China had previously blocked YouTube. Now I think they filter it, but you can still see that it's all over the planet, and those numbers have probably grown. There's probably more countries in the green now that having a local YouTube. Okay, text and video chat services. You guys are familiar with those, stuff like WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Skype, Google Hangouts is becoming big. Now we have Google Meets that a lot of you guys are on. You've been having Zoom calls and things like that. There's more of this than ever before, and you can see on the right hand side, it's an example of a Google Meet, Google Hangout, because Meet is part of Hangouts, where you can meet with people far enough away, and I have that available to you guys every Monday and Wednesday at 1 o'clock, and I know your other teachers are doing it too. And then there's really this Americanization of the world, or sometimes it's called Westernization. After World War II, and even more after the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991, the United States has been the leading political and cultural power in the world. American culture in the form of movies, television, food, music, and technology have spread throughout the world and influenced many other countries and cultures. The process of cultural diffusion from the United States to other parts of the world in the 20th and 21st century is often called Americanization. This term is often used by people in other countries who are critical of the influence of American culture in their country. And that's some of the reasons why you see YouTube blocked in places. They don't want this American culture getting into their countries as much. It's similar to the process of westernization that took place in the 18th, 19th centuries. It really often is kind of an interchangeable Americanization and westernization. But when European countries influence the cultures of those regions that they colonized, we've studied that pretty extensively. As imperialized groups reacted against European colonization through events like the Sepoy Rebellion, the Boxer Rebellion, the Bambatha Rebellion in South Africa in the 19th and 20th centuries, there have been reactions to Americanization in the late 20th and 21st centuries. Okay, you can see here, this is countries that has at least one McDonald's, and this is through 2014, so this number has probably increased since then. And you can see the countries where McDonald's got into in the time frame that they got into, and I think it's probably spread since then. Americanization is a big deal. It's a lot of the reasons we have some of the difficulties that we have with some things like ISIS and Al-Qaeda and some of those other things are all reactions to Americanization and Westernization, and that's where they come from. So make sure you're answering the questions that have been embedded in the video, and then the final question, which will come up at the end.